Hey, Kevin. What are you doing?
Hey, wondered where you got off to. I am working on Miss Ladybug Me over here. This is that ladybug sculpture I'm making for a client. And it's going to go out in her backyard where she's got this little mosquito problem she wants to take care of. So, Ladybug Me, that's her name, is going to be standing on this plate. So I thought, well, it's going to go out in the backyard. It's going to be, right in view of everything and everybody. There's a little concrete border out there with a little piece of plywood in it. There's actually a sump pump for the backyard because there's so much brick and tile and and concrete seating and what have you out there. They put that pump in to help with the drainage when it rains. And I thought, perfect, we can hide that little piece of plywood right there. So I've just got a piece of plate, just this piece of 1/8 inch plate. And what I did was, I just drew her feet. Put the feet on the sculpture, stand the sculpture up on top of the plate, outline the feet, and then I can just come back with the feet, drill it from the backside, so I can get into the middle of the foot itself, tap these, countersink these. So I can just put a countersunk Allen head grade 8 bolt in there, up from the bottom, so everything's flush here. It'll sit flat on the top of that piece of plywood. No bolts, no big anchors, no screws, no flanges, nothing like that. Make her look like she's just standing it.
Tell us a little more about countersinking, Kev.
So this is a countersink. You can see it's got the angle on it, that you would want for whatever kind of screw that you're using. I'm sorry, I don't know what that angle is. I would have to check. But it's got a cutting edge on the forward edges of the countersink, and you use it just pretty much like a drill. I can use it in my little handheld. You can use it in the drill presses, or I can even use it in the mill, just all depending on what I'm working on. I've got this one hole where the foot goes, that the edge of that hole is raised up just a little bit. So I was just going to come in and hit it with the countersink real quick, just to kind of flatten it back out again, so the shoe, so the foot can actually fit flush. So with that hole just raised up a little bit from where I countersunk it on the other side, and it just kind of pushed that hole up. So I just want to come back in with the countersink on this side, and I'll just touch that hole again with it, and it'll just get that little raised lip off, and that way the foot will fit down flat on there. I can tighten it up. It's not going to sit there and wiggle. See, that's just real quick. You just hit it with the drill a little. It'll get rid of all that little high spot, flatten it all back out. So here, come here, take a look. You can see it's got a little chamfered edge on there. You can see the little shiny part in the metal. And that's all there is to it. Like I say, the handheld, the drill press, the mill. Like in wood, you can do it with a little handheld, drill or drill press, drill to turn it. I mean, it's really easy to do.
Could you just use a regular drill bit, or do you have to have a special bit?
Okay, now here's why you don't want to countersink with a drill, is because it only has 2 cutting surfaces on it. And what'll happen is you'll get a little bit of a chatter in there, and the countersunk hole won't come out as smooth and as tapered evenly all the way around the hole, because you're only cutting on 2 surfaces. You see, the countersink has 3 cutting surfaces, where the drill only has 2 cutting surfaces. You can do it in a pinch. Lord knows I've done it, many, many times, where I just wanted to clean up a little hole like this. It just happens that I had the countersink handy. It was still in the drill from the last time I used it on the other side. That's why I used it here. And you can see it can fit a wide size range worth of hole, from about 3/4 of an inch to the very outside edge, down to just a little point. That's a very versatile little tool. You can use it on a wide range of materials, wide range in hole size. Doesn't take up much room, and they're not that expensive. So if you don't have one in your toolbox, you should go pick one up. Well, let me go ahead and start putting this all together. I'll see you guys next time.